Hi, my name is Jenai Lane, and I'm the founder of Spirit Coach Training. I want to talk to you about perhaps the grief you're feeling right now around the loss of so many things and the suffering that is happening in humanity right now. And I think many of my students and clients, and myself included, have felt this unease and sometimes bursting into tears, and other times feeling a low level depression or a sense of deep hopelessness or angst. And these kinds of feelings right now are very normal. It's a very normal to feel these things because that just means our heart is open and we're experiencing the suffering that's happening, whether it's in our own lives or the lives of our fellow human beings. And we're experiencing a lot of losses right now, loss of a certain way of life, loss of freedom of movement, a loss of sometimes, in some cases, loved ones crossing over, a loss of not being able to connect, to physically connect, to have a hug from those people we love, to have our hand be held. All of these things that we need as social beings, as human beings. And so what do we do about that? What can we do? Because it's very important right now that we're able to meet what is rising up in us in a way that holds it so that we can act from love and not fear. Because that's what tends to happen when things get overwhelming. We contract, we shut down, we close down our hearts, and we just try to get by, get through, and survive. And this really robs us of the ability to thrive and to contribute and to serve, which is really important right now. So one of the things that I learned going through my own dark night of the soul a number of years ago was that sometimes when pain is too difficult, just overwhelming, one of the ways that we can meet that is through the vehicle of the high spiritual heart or the sacred heart. And the high spiritual heart is this infinite wholeness. It's our essence. It's the God or the divine in us. And it's akin to, as some of the mystics like Teresa of Avila has pointed to, she describes it as the diamond, right? The diamond in the heart. And that diamond is our wholeness. And that wholeness has these facets or divine qualities that we can call out. We can activate them so that they can serve us and begin to imbue our humanity. And we need right now, in order to meet what's arising, the grief, the sadness, the loss, is compassion. Compassion. I call this the compassion cure. And it's a cure in so many ways. And it's such a necessary frequency to help us to meet the more difficult emotions and difficult experiences and challenges in life, and to meet it and to allow it and to hold it and to create space around it so that we can digest it. So instead of contracting around these things and closing them off and moving on, or rising above or trying to find a way around it, we are including it. That it compassion allows what's arising to belong to that wholeness or to love, which is our true nature. And so how do we source this? All right, I'm going to show you a way, a very simple way that you can source this compassion that lives in you. So first of all, I just want you to touch your high spiritual heart and begin to just breathe here, right where your hand is. Begin to breathe. And you can visualize this as a diamond or a sun, whatever feels resonant for you. But it's the light that you are, it's the light that we all are. And as you breathe in and out, let that light naturally grow, right? That ball of energy or that diamond within is just, it's more luminous. Now, what we pay attention to expands. So as you bring your attention to this innate wholeness or love within, it begins to expand. And within that is this facet or frequency of compassion. And I'm seeing it as a radiant pink light, like rose quartz crystals. And this pink light is beginning to exude. It's activating, it's radiating out. This beautiful, soft, supple, gentle, pink compassion. It kind of acts like a fierce grace. It's very disarming. And I want you to let that start to just fill your whole heart area. Just fill it up. And then let it reach beyond. So it's moving up into the head, into the brain, the left hemisphere and the right. It's just calming and holding the thoughts. Because when we're triggered, when we're in stress, we have a lot of thoughts. And those thoughts are often fearful, judgmental. And so the compassion, if you notice, if you just pay attention to this frequency, it welcomes it in. It doesn't reject anything. It doesn't judge. It's not good or bad. Everything's welcome. Every thought, every feeling. And notice how this compassion is beginning to move into the body, our physiology, and especially the nervous system. The nervous system right now is on definitely overload for many of us. So imagine that beautiful pink light is just really entering the back of your skull, the brain stem, and it's flooding down all the way down your central column. And it's just unwinding, unbounding, opening your nervous system. When you open the nervous system and you flood it with compassion, it's like a solvent. It begins to let go of the stuck, stagnant energy, the stress that you've been carrying. Now, sometimes it helps to visualize a beautiful waterfall of this compassion, and you're just sitting under it, and it's just flooding down. And you can adjust that waterfall very strong, like Niagara Falls, or very gentle, very gentle. So, whatever you need. And you're just letting this compassion release and enter the closed off spaces and welcome them into the folds of love, into the folds of wholeness. And notice how you're creating more spaciousness, this big spaciousness that you are, this inner spaciousness. And notice your relationship to whatever's going on, the feelings that you had or are having. Notice how there's more space between them. And there's a peace that's created in this. There's a way to be still. And in the stillness is a deep, deep nourishment, something we're all in need of right now. Now, I want you to try this with me because this amplifies our ability to receive by giving, because it's a reciprocal relationship. So now we're going to offer this compassion frequency, this beautiful pink light out. We're going to offer it out into our communities. So into our families, our communities, and then we're going to extend it beyond into our city, the city or town we reside in, and into the state we live in, and into the country. And then we're going to let that expand way beyond country and out into the world and into the planet and into beautiful Mother Earth and all her creatures, all the inhabitants. And you just see this beautiful compassion flooding the earth plane. Now, I want you to bring the energy now back to you again, back to you, and let that, as you place your hand on your heart, let the compassion now fill you. And notice how much more, perhaps, you're allowing to flood in because you're more open to it. Now, this is really important. This is really important because from here, you can digest and hold whatever is going on. Now, once you're able to do this and you practice this enough, then you can act from love. So you can feel from the wisdom, your innate wisdom, your truth, how to act. How does love move you to act in the world, to contribute, to give back? What is that? What is that you're called to do, to take action from love to serve the greater good, to serve humanity? Because when we're in action from love, all of a sudden we become enlivened, we become a kind of innate joy rises up. We feel inspired because we're making a difference, because we're serving the greater good. We're serving the whole from our wholeness, from our wholeness. And this is what co-creation is. We allow that love to move us to act in accordance with the greater good. So our wholeness is contributing to the greater wholeness. As we are all connected, we are all one. So thank you so much for listening, and namaste. The divine in me sees the divine in you. Thank you. May compassion fill your heart this day and always. Namaste.